let's talk about comments. People ask me all the time, how do I get rid of unwanted comments on my WordPress site? And it's a very big issue because this is the main way attackers try to hack a site. Other than using default accounts like the default admin account and trying weak passwords, hackers try to inject malicious code, malicious scripts onto your WordPress site using comments. It can be an enormous hassle to deal with. So we're going to go to the comments tab down on our dashboard. And we currently have no comments, which is great, but we can expect to have comments in the future. So we want to fully prepare the site before we get those comments because they're going to be coming. So how do we do that? How do we protect ourselves from unwanted comments, from spam comments, from marketing comments? So what we do is we go down to settings, and then we go down to discussion. So this is where you control how comments are shown on your website. Now, here we have some basic security mechanisms that are already checked for us on the default installation. The comment author must fill out a name and email. Now, what does this mean? This means that if somebody wants to add a comment, they have to type in a name and an email address. Now, that email address can be completely fake, and oftentimes you'll see Joe Schmo at xyz.com. It's a completely fake email address, but WordPress is not going to verify the email address before allowing the comment. So this really provides almost no security, okay? The next one, users must be registered and logged in to comment. This is a fairly good security mechanism, but it's only useful if you don't want many comments on your site, or you're running a membership site where you have people logged into your site, maybe to purchase a course or to watch a podcast. That can be incredibly helpful because you're only allowing those registered users who already use your site to make comments. You're not allowing any other person to make comments. So this can be a very good security tool. If you want anybody to make comments, say you're running a news site or a blog that's highly popular and you want just any random person to make comments, then you might want to leave this unchecked. But I kind of recommend that you leave this checked if you're running any other type of website. Unless you want anonymous comments from strangers, check this security setting. Automatically close comments on posts older than 28 days. This dictates how long comments will sit in your moderation folder. And it's generally a good idea to enforce some sort of mechanism here. Otherwise, you're going to have a backlog of comments that keep building up on your site. Now, show comment cookies opt-in checkbox, allowing comment author cookies to be set. This will allow the user to store some sort of information, or allow your site to store some information on that user's browser in the form of a cookie, so that the user can then easily add to their comment or go to your site and locate where they've commented or the part of the discussion forum that they're participating in. So if you're having a site where you want discourse between users, you might want to set this. Otherwise, it's not really that important. This just deals with how comments are displayed. You can choose the level of, if you have a discussion between users on your website, how those comments are displayed there. And then this is, again, if you have lots of comments on your site, like you have a popular blog, you might want to play around with these settings to dictate how these comments are displayed. So these are all display preferences, okay? Now when we get down to security, you have email me with anyone posts a comment or a comment is held for moderation. If you expect a lot of comments on your site, these can be a huge hassle because you're going to have you're going to be overwhelmed with comment responses. You're going to, every time somebody comments on your site, you're going to receive an email about it. So you might have thousands of emails about random people commenting. So we're going to help you stop that right here. Here, before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved. And the comment author must have a previously approved comment. Okay, these two are pretty important. Making it so that comments have to be manually approved is probably the best step at avoiding unwanted comments, because that means you have to have an administrator approve the comment before it appears on your site. That's incredibly helpful. Most of the comments you're going to see are spam comments that have some sort of email link, some sort of advertisement, etc. Those comments are going to be a pain, and those are going to infect your site basically with malicious code. They're going to try and redirect users away from your site to something malicious or advertise a product using your website in your space. You don't want to let that happen, so I highly recommend you have comments be manually approved. Again, if you're running a blog or a very popular discussion forum type website, like a news article or what have you, you might need to reconsider this. But for the vast majority of people, this is a must-have configuration setting. This one is an attempt. Comment author must have a previously approved comment. This is an attempt by WordPress to mitigate the number of spam comments. It's generally a good idea to have this checked, but what attackers have found is, because they know WordPress and they know the configuration settings within WordPress, what they'll do is they'll make a nice comment onto a post, like, oh, great article or something. And then once they have approved comment like that, then they'll start making spam comments. So sometimes this really doesn't help. Okay? I would recommend unchecking this and just forcing every single comment to be manually approved. That way you're going to find these hackers who try and give you a nice comment. You can approve the nice comment, like, oh, great article, or nice insight, or oh, that was a really good point. You know, something good, something constructive. And then you'll see the next comment they post might be, you know, buy Cialis online. It's a common one. So that's a good way to prevent people from making these comments and having them post on your site immediately. I'd say it's a must-have setting. This one right here. Comment must be manually approved. Now here we go. We have comment moderation, and this can be incredibly helpful.